Hi, I'm Toby from KMNH. I'm at the Cincinnati Speedway. Stay tuned for my report on racing.
Welcome to KMNH, kids making the news happen.
Up next on this weekend's KMNH, Toby reports from the newest racetrack in Cincinnati. And you won't want to miss the heartwarming story about how an accidental meeting introduced Toby to a Northside neighbor who is helping bring a little green to the windowsills throughout our neighborhood. All this plus more news around the world right now on Kids Making the News Happen.
There's a new racetrack in town at the Hamilton County Fairgrounds, and it's bringing go-kart and motorcycle racers of all ages out to race and have fun with friends and family. It's called the Cincinnati Speedway, and Cincinnati is showing its love for racing. Last weekend, I had an opportunity to go to the races and interview some of the Speedway volunteers, sponsors, and for the first time, I got to see live motorcycle racing in action.
Tonight we got 167 entries, and that's the best that we've done so far. People are coming out from the community saying it's great to see all these young faces and families out at the track. We're super pleased with everything so far.
Mr. Demske said that over the last year, Cincinnati racers couldn't travel to meet and compete due to COVID, so they took that time off to develop and build this new track just 15 minutes away from the heart of Northside.
Many of us have been racing at Lawrenceburg Motorcycle Speedway, but due to COVID, they did not open last year, so we were looking for another place, for a family-friendly place to race, because a lot of tracks run very late, or they have other aspects of, like, they're bigger tracks, so they're not as attractive to families with kids. So Jason Spurrier started talking to people to see if we could find a place where we could make a racetrack in or around Cincinnati. And he talked to one of the members of the board here at the Hamilton County Agricultural Society, who run the Hamilton County Fairgrounds, and they said that sounded like it'd be a great fit.
Bruce told me it took a lot of volunteers and sponsors to build a track that was safe and fun for all ages. I also got to meet Dave Cunningham, a volunteer, sponsor, and of course, he's also a motorcycle racer.
Going fast is fun, and the safest way to go fast is on the racetrack, because everything's designed to go fast, and it's designed to have overrun, so the possibility of injury is lower. You know, it does seem counterintuitive, but it really is a better place to race.
This is only Mr. Cunningham's third year of racing, but as the owner and operator of the Comet, he also celebrates his passion for motorcycling with the famous and long-running Comet Bike Night. Every Tuesday night, riders of motorcycles, scooters, and anything on 2 or even 3 wheels gather at the Comet to check out each other's bikes, all while enjoying Cincinnati's best burrito and award-winning jukebox. Mr. Cunningham took some time before his race to explain that the Speedway is a flat track made of dirt and packed down with water. Riders enter the races based on the size of their bike or go-kart. Then the drivers have a meeting where all the racers are listed on a racing schedule. The go-karts and small bikes race first, and then the bigger bikes take to the starting line.
It's about to turn green, and you're sitting on the line, and you know, and a lot of times there's a bunch of friends, you know, so you look over, you lined up with them, and you just kind of get that feeling.
My first experience at the track, the excitement is contagious. It just makes you want to get on the bike and race. And getting new riders into racing is one of the biggest goals for the new Speedway.
So anybody can race here. We do motorcycle racing and go-kart racing. So we got everything from 50cc motorcycles, or what they call kid karts, which are specifically designed for children, up to 450cc single motorcycles, and like UAS, the Unlimited All-Stars, are running in go-karts. So these are the same things that the pros ride.
I tried to catch up with another Northside racer, George Duchaine, but he was pretty hard to run after because I wasn't on 2 wheels. But check out his helmet cam video of the races and you will see why people love to race at the Speedway. I also learned that it's not just the winning that makes these volunteers and sponsors put all this effort into racing.
So it's the smiles on the kids' faces, you know what I mean? It's like kids don't necessarily get a lot of opportunities to try motorsports. So to be able to do that inside the city of Cincinnati city limits is really something that hasn't been around for a long time, and so seeing the kids who pick motorcycles or go-karts instead of video games and that sort of thing, I think it makes me happy, makes me smile inside.
Mr. Demske and Mr. Cunningham invite everyone to visit and support the new Cincinnati Speedway.
Our emphasis is on families. We like to get kids out here riding. We have a class for beginners. We have some things that a lot of motorcycle tracks don't have. So our plan is to keep it going and try and get the youth interested in motorsports, really.
And with the help they offer to me, the next time you visit, you may even see me in the race too.
In the mid-2030s, a lunar cycle will dramatically increase high tide floods across all coasts. Coastal communities in the United States should be warned that in the next decade or so, there is a significantly increased risk of flooding during high tide. Northern coastlines will have at least another decade before it begins to flood there because the coastlines in Alaska are more elevated than they are in the lower 48 states.
There are a lot of bad things happening locally and on a national level, but there are also a lot of positive moments, and one happened recently in northern Thailand after a pickup truck crashed on the steep hill. Over 50 kind locals volunteered their time and energy to help retrieve the vehicle from the edge of a cabbage field terrace where it got stuck. After they came to the driver's aid, they successfully towed the truck back to the road in under an hour. According to the Good News Network, the driver and his family are extremely grateful for all of the kind people who helped and went the extra mile to get the truck back on the road. Next time you see a car or truck on the side of the road, offer a hand. It might not make the news, but it'll definitely make the driver's day.
As of today's taping, the COVID cases in Hamilton County increased by over 100 new infections yesterday, and some say it's going to get worse. What can you do? Get vaccinated and encourage your friends and family to do the same. According to Cincinnati.com and the Hamilton County Health Department, only around 49% of Hamilton County residents are fully vaccinated. That's a total of 395,782. So let's do the math. Also taking into account the roughly 14% of Hamilton County residents under the age of 12, that still leaves 307,245 people who have not received their second shot, even as the Delta variant becomes the dominant COVID infection in the United States. If you are eligible, please get vaccinated, not just for yourself, your family, and your friends, but for all the frontline workers, EMTs, nurses, and doctors.
So even if you don't know him, if you have walked or driven down Hamilton Avenue, you have definitely seen him. His name is Van Hyatt. And it was actually this broom that introduced me to him. You see, when I'm not working on KMNH stories, I also volunteer as a teen garden club member. We do a lot of beautification projects all year around in Northside, and a couple times a year we pull weeds, pick up trash, and sweep Hamilton Avenue. 2 weeks ago, I was helping to clean up the sidewalks when the broom I was carrying somehow slipped out my hands and the handle ended up walloping Mr. Hyatt upside his head. I promise I didn't mean to do it, and I think I was startled just as much as Mr. Hyatt was as he picked up his glasses and tried to figure out what in the world just hit him. I apologized, and what was cool was that Mr. Hyatt didn't lose his temper, and the incident actually led to us learning more about each other. I interviewed him at his pop-up plant stand outside of Sidewinder Coffee. That's where you will find him from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. 7 days a week, selling tropical plants and some garden herbs.
I sit here because of the traffic into the coffee shop. It brings me a lot of customers. Well, the aloe vera and the so-called spider plants, those are the two most popular.
Even if his customers don't live in Northside, people know where to find him, rain or shine.
If it's raining too much, I stand inside there till the rain stops. I have a lot of regular customers. When I get something new, they'll come by. They come by regularly and check them out.
Mr. Hyatt told me that he has lived in Northside for 20 years and enjoys the diversity of the people that live in the neighborhood.
I came over here, first of all, because I found a house I could afford. Now, what do I like about Northside? It's a good mix of people. There are a lot of well-schooled, interesting people here. I enjoy talking. That's one of the things I enjoy about this, is talking to the people.
And his biggest sale days of the year are on holidays.
Well, there are certain times of year people buy more plants. Saturday is always the best, simply because there are more people on the street. Mother's Day and Easter, I guess, are the two big ones.
And what you may not know is that Mr. Hyatt is an accomplished pianist. He graduated from the internationally renowned College Conservatory of Music of the University of Cincinnati in 1966. And when he is not selling plants, he continues to play and teach piano lessons to young people. But this story doesn't end here. Hyatt volunteer Leslie Brickley, who volunteers caring for Hyatt Flower Garden on Chase Avenue, has purchased plants from Mr. Hyatt and became friends as they both share the same passion for flowers. She shared her concerns with me that it looked like Mr. Hyatt's folding chair is probably on its last leg, and helped me to present him with a brand new chair to replace his old one. This led to Mr. Hyatt wanting to know more about me and why I want to give back to our neighborhood. So now that we actually know each other, I could call Mr. Hyatt not just a neighbor, but a friend. All because of a simple accident, but more importantly because he's an adult who understands that kids sometimes make mistakes. And by me offering and him accepting an apology, an awkward situation can turn into a friendship. So please remember Hyatt's theme. Community is not just where you live, it's how you live with other people.
Thanks for watching this week's broadcast of KMNH. Don't miss next week's KMNH when I try my hand at juggling with Northside neighbor Tom Sparrow, the space painter, and get an inside look at Happen's Water on Wheels, where neighborhood teens help keep Hamilton Avenue beautiful all summer long.